Welcome back to another inspiring episode of the Good Morning Minute podcast. I'm your host, Angelina Mojica, certified family life educator, life coach, and the founder of Empower Her Steps. This season, we're stepping into a new series called Rooted, Restoring the Fruit of the Spirit, a conversation about identity, healing, and inner growth. While the fruit of the Spirit comes from a faith-based framework, the heart of the season is something we can all relate to. The qualities that shaped who we are: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self-control, and how life experience either grow or challenge those qualities. We're not here to label people good or bad, right or wrong. We're here to explore what's beneath the surface, what shaped us, what stretched us, and what helped us grow. Today, I'm honored. Our guest is Anni, a catalyst for transformation, master healer, teacher, and co-founder of Seeds of Bliss. With over 10,000 healing sessions and training in more than 10 modalities, she created Awakening the Seeds, a deep process that guides people back to who they are beneath fear, conditioning, and survival patterns. Anni, welcome to the show.
Hi everyone. Hi Angelina. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited for you to be on the show and to get to know you further beyond your bio. You've done so many wonderful things, but I know it just doesn't start from the moment of idea. There has to be something that springs forth that discovery that, oh my goodness, this is what I want to do, or whatever it is. I know that there's an experience back there in a story, and I'd love to hear that. But before we jump into that, tell us a little bit about who you are and what this current season of life looks like for you now.
That's a very interesting question and I love it. So first of all, I am Annie. As you know, I'm co-founder of Seeds of Bliss. I'm tuning in from Greece, the southern part of the country. And this current season of life is very interesting because since the beginning of this new year, 2026, I have noticed a huge difference on the inside.
Mm.
There's a new kind of tranquility, like a big cycle has come to an end, like a big shedding process has come to an end. And I feel more liberated than ever, more myself than ever, and more capable of living a life on a deeper level with a different perception, if I may say. I feel like even my senses are heightened. I can't explain it very well because it's beyond words, but this is where I'm currently at.
Mm. I love that you're sharing that with us. It gives us a good picture of who you are and where you're at right now. Um, my question for you, Anni, is was there a season when you realized that whatever struggle or challenge you were facing wasn't just about behavior? Because you do talk about this shedding and you talk about being, oh, I'm just going to use the word bliss, at bliss with yourself because you've gotten this inner awakening. But what was it that like hit that button for you where you were like something deeper that needed attention or healing is here before you could reach where you are today?
Okay, I will try to bring that forward as clearly as possible because it's not just one thing. Since I can remember myself, I always had this feeling that I haven't tapped into my full potential.
Mhm.
And this is why I started my own healing journey as a receiver about 15 years ago,
Mhm.
to know myself better, to understand myself better, to unlock all these hidden parts beneath the surface and embody them, reclaim them, be able to access them. So this was the beginning of all this journey and also my career, if I may say, as a healer, because I really wanted to explore my own existence, my own human existence on a deeper level. And back then, I had no idea I would become a healer, and I had no intention to become a healer. I am just in love with life and human beings. And my healer was the one that prompted me to get trained to become a healer, because she was seeing something in me, apparently. But back then, I had no idea what was that. I went into the first healing training out of curiosity because I love experimenting, I love learning new things, I love trying new things. And then everything started falling into place. No effort, no control on my end, just an explosion. I was I was feeling like something in me exploded, and my reality started rearranging itself.
Mhm. I like that because often, in order for us to see our reality shift into something that's going to propel us further or help us hit our goals, we do have to go inward in order to see the outcomes outwardly. And so I like how you're saying this, and also just this awakening, this explosion that you're describing of realizing who you are as you're even walking through your healing journey as well, because you mentioned your healer brought this to you for you to really look into it. And I think that's important to highlight because so many of us think, oh, we have to be already at the end of it before we can step into, this new idea of who we want to be in the world, or who we're meant to be, or in our purpose, or whatever it is out there that people are labeling it for themselves. But that's not the case because you discover it along the way, and it's okay for you to step into it because it's the stepping into that's the leap of faith. And then as you're walking through it, you're refining what that looks like for yourself. Is that something similar that you found in your own journey?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, there is no ending
Mhm.
in exploring and learning more about ourselves, because this is what healing is all about. Building more and more self-awareness, learning ourselves better, and learning how we function and why we function like that, understanding our patterns. And this is limitless because we are limitless beings.
Mhm.
You can dig all you want, and there's something new to understand, learn, and find out every time. And this is why healing is magical. It's not about fixing ourselves, but I would never have been able to be a really good healer and have um, this much of an experience, like tens of thousands of hours, if I wasn't sitting in the receiver's chair myself.
Mhm.
Because if I just offer healing to others, but not receiving healing from others, I risk projection.
Mhm.
I can project my own thought forms, my own patterns to other people. And that's a pity because everyone is unique. I have to be a clean slate. I have to be able to see who sits in front of me without filtering their existence through my own lenses of perception.
That's a good reminder too, because if we're not doing the work within ourselves, then it's hard to lead others in their own healing journey. This was something that I found very interesting because when my daughter was going through some very traumatic things as a teenager, I I remember as her mother having this light bulb moment, this kind of aha moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't I can't help her because I have yet to help myself. And a lot of and this is also generational patterns, right? Because a lot of what I've experienced and what I've hold inwardly and not dealt with, I see happening to my daughter. So I'm like, okay, let me take a step back and start working on me, because I will not be any good to my daughter to help her really realize the things that she needs to change within herself so that things can change outwardly for her too. So that was a real hard moment for me as a parent, as a mother, because so many of us as parents want to just control our children, and we can't, because they end up being individual people. And so learning that and learning I need to be more of a support system for her rather than this, as a teenager, 16, 17 years old, do what I say. These are the rules. That was the other moment of going, no, you need to let her experience so that you can support her when she does have challenges and guide her through those challenges rather than trying to dictate to her what she can and cannot do. And to me, that just shook my spirit awake. And I was like, wow, that's beautiful. Um, so I like that you're saying this. So in this transition for yourself too, I'm interested, what did you find out about who you were then as opposed to who you are now?
Okay, everything is different and nothing is different at the same time. Because I'm not someone different, I just have better awareness of my wholeness. So I see bigger part of my truth. The
Mm-hmm.
deeper we get into ourselves, the deeper we get into our darkness, which is our existential goodie, our existential candy, although we are so afraid of it, the more whole we become, the more truth we can contain, the more truth we can see. And we stop being fearful, we stop controlling things. And that's, I think, the greatest gift we can offer to ourselves.
Mm. So what I'm hearing in your story, Annie, is a story of surrender, a story of allowing yourself to be just open and free and no longer trying to control outcomes, but actually surrendering into the things that you're wanting to see for yourself. Am I getting that right?
So if surrendering means following the flow of life, then yes. But
Okay.
if it means being passive and taking no action, then no. We have
No.
total agency in our lives.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you have to be action forwarded in order to see those things. It's not passive at all. It's simply saying, I let go of because you've done what you can do, right? You control those elements. I can do what I can do, whether it's studying, whether it's um, journaling, whatever it is that's going to get you to that step in your life. That's, but then the surrender is allowing it to flow and the outcomes, are attracted to you or come to you.
Yeah, and there's also timing, you know, you do whatever is within your reach. And then you have to respect timing, you have to respect life, and you have to respect also your system's rhythm to integrate all the changes and get prepared for what's to come. Because our mind, our emotions, our energy is very quick, it adapts. But the physical body and the nervous system is a whole different story. They have a much slower pace, and we have to learn to be patient. And
Mhm.
this is the kind of surrendering we have to master, because surrendering equals being patient. And patience is a virtue and a skill at the same time,
Mhm.
especially if you're living in the Western so called civilized world, which is all about hustling and rushing
Mhm.
and producing outcomes.
Mm. Those are really good and valid points that I'm hearing. Because we do. We like to hustle and bustle and, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? But there is a lot of peace in the surrender of allowing the timing to find itself and happen when it happens, and just trusting, because I think with patience also comes trust. So trusting that it's going to happen, trusting that there is things that are already working in your favor and in your grace and all those situations. I'm curious because as you've done your own healing and now practicing and helping others, what changes have you noticed in maybe your reactions or relationships and even in your sense of self?
First of all, I am still receiving healing and I will keep doing it because if I want to be a healer to others, I have to keep myself accountable.
Mhm.
I have to check in with myself regularly. And because ego is very sneaky and it can appear and reappear in ways that we cannot understand or see immediately. I will continue receiving my healing. And there's another reason for that. Healing is also a form of self-care. We shower our physical bodies every day. But what about the inside? What about our nervous system? What about our thought patterns? What about our emotions? What happens there? Because they're not so obvious, we don't care about them. They are more important because even our physical body depends on all those subtle elements of our existence. So what I have noticed changing is, first of all, the patience. A friend of mine says that I have the patience of a saint. I don't feel like that because patience is a huge quality. There's always more. Like healing, there's always more. Like awareness, there's always more. But patience offers us a form of freedom and liberation because we understand that the outcome will come. It will happen. It's inevitable. If you've done whatever is in your reach, if you have prepared yourself and you're ready to receive, the outcome will happen. You will have the result. You will achieve the goal. Just let things fall into place organically because otherwise you're stalling yourself.
I love that. And I can tell that you are so patient because even as we have this conversation, your explanations are so just paced and timed and just gentle and graceful. Like I can see that in you, the patience and the peace that comes with it. It just flows so naturally and organically from you. Um, so looking back, what do you understand now about yourself that you didn't before?
That I don't have to push through. I don't have to handle everything. I don't have to hold it all. And I have every right to let go of what's complete.
I love that. It was so beautiful. So let's say someone is starting their healing journey, someone is starting it and they're still struggling with maybe even the same thing that you struggled with in the beginning. What would you want them to hear from you today?
Okay, if they're struggling with the feeling that there's more to what they can feel and see and understand about themselves or life, I would tell them that there is definitely more and more than you can ever imagine. And the sooner you step into your healing process, the sooner you will open that door into awareness, into understanding. And the more you understand about yourself, the more you understand about humans, life, universe, everything.
Mhm.
You want to manifest things, you want to have money, know yourself better. You want a loving relationship, know yourself better. You want a better job? Know yourself better. You want better relationship with your kids, your parents, your friends? Know yourself better.
Mm. That's very powerful to know yourself better because it all starts with you. Anything, because you step into relationships, you step into your finances, and it all starts with you. So everyone listening out there, just know that it all starts with you. And if you want to see changes happen that are your desired changes, then you have to really look at the things inside and slow down. If this conversation hasn't told you anything but to slow down and look at the root of those things. When we give space for healthier fruit to grow, so that slow down process is that space so that those healthy fruits can grow. That's where it all begins. Understanding yourself and more compassionately before you can even start trying the new things. Before we wrap up, Annie, I do want to ask you if you could leave listeners with one thought, truth, or encouragement to help them stay more grounded and rooted in who they are becoming, what would it be?
Slowing down, I think, is my favorite thing because when we are in a rush, we cannot we cannot observe. We lose our ability to observe. And
Mhm.
observing ourselves, observing what is happening inside and all around us is a key to transformation. If you fail to observe what is within and all around you, you lose your agency.
Mhm.
You're unaware. You're the victim. You're following. You're not co-creating.
Mm. Again, more wisdom, very powerful. Annie, if people listening want to connect with you outside of this podcast and learn more about your work, how can they do so?
You can find me in our website, seedsofbliss.live, and on social media under the handle of Seeds of Bliss. I can also send you the links so that they can be included in the show notes.
Wonderful. And I will post them there. I want to say thank you so much, Annie, for sharing your story and your growth with us. What I love about conversations like this is the reminder that transformation isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, healing, and intention. When we tend to the root, the fruit begins to change naturally. So, to those of you that are listening, take a moment to reflect. Which inner quality feels hardest right now, and what part of your story might be asking for more care? For me, my faith is where the healing begins. And if you're curious about that journey, you're always welcome here. No pressure, no judgment, just space to grow. So until next time, friends, stay rooted, stay real, stay growing. I'm Angelina Mojica, your life coach, sending you much love, much peace, many blessings.